Hello everybody, how's it going? My name is Zack. I'm the head brewer here at Inner North Brewing Company in Brunswick. Hope everyone's doing alright. It's late September now, still in lockdown 6 here in Melbourne, and we're all doing our best to stay sane. I think we're 47 days in now and have just been told by our leader Dan that we're going to be in this for at least another like 34 to 45 days, depending on how quickly everyone gets vaccinated. So let's hope that happens quickly. We've just been doing our best here to keep busy. So it's sort of a weird time for us that it's a good opportunity for us to do a lot of maintenance, and we're currently doing a deep clean of our cool room. Getting our glass washer in the bar, a little bit of TLC, and we're also trying to keep Calvin busy. Say hi, Calvin.
Hi, Calvin.
He's in the background there, brewing a bunch of single kegs. So keep an eye out on our socials and our shop for some new single keg releases coming out. But we'll do bottle only, so there'll just be 60 bottles on there. Right, well, let's get to it. Thank you again for subscribing. We're going to get to our October pack here. The beers we chose this month are our Märzen. Looks a bit flat here because it's still in the tank. Haven't actually carbonated it yet, but we've brewed it before and it still tastes delicious, so I can talk you through it. One of our signature range, the Lurve IPA, and a sort of a seasonal release that we did a bit last year called Blurred Priorities, a hazy IPA. Let's get tasting. All right, first up, we're going to be tasting the Märzen. So Märzen is a Bavarian German-style lager that's also sometimes called Oktoberfest beer. And the reason for that is that the beers were originally traditionally brewed in March. And the idea was that this would be the beer that kind of got drunk all through summer, and then the very last of it would be finished off in those late summer festivals like Oktoberfest in Munich that everyone knows and wishes they could go to again. Wouldn't that be fun? So that they could survive through summer, they tend to be a little bit more higher in alcohol, and they tend to kind of the kind of what we think of as the style today tends to be a little bit maltier, biscuity, and so it's just have a little whiffy whiff. So we use a mixture of Munich malt and Pilsner malt in this, and from the aroma there you get a little bit of toffee, and it kind of just smells like beer. Toffee beer, yum. And you have that sip, a lot of kind of like a sweet biscuitiness, finishing with a little bit of a sweet finish, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of toffee again. Really clean finish, really easy drinking. It's kind of the original session beer because that's what it was designed for. So I hope you guys enjoy that one. We brew it once a year around this time. Maybe one day we can actually have an Oktoberfest party like we always plan. Next up, tasting this month, we're going to talk about one of our signature beers. It's one of our oldest regular beers. It's the Lurve IPA. Now, in case you're wondering, Lurve comes from the official term Lurve, which was coined by an old regular named Katie Daly, who now lives in Adelaide. Hi, Katie. She Lurved the beer, and the name stuck. So basically what Lurve IPA is it's our closest thing to a West Coast style IPA at the brewery. And it combines Topaz hops, which are like an Australian hop, with Columbus, and sometimes we use some Cascade hops as well from the US. And it's sort of like a classic IPA, except we've made it a little bit maltier using some special malts that give it a bit more character to the malt profile. It makes it a little bit more interesting. And it's just a really solid, usually around 6% beer. We play around with it sometimes, and let's have a taste. On the nose, that's our cool room starting up. If you hear that, On the nose, we get a lot of citrus and like some stone fruit. Maybe like, I get peach. Kind of like a peach iced tea smell. Let's have a little sip. Oh. You know, I don't drink this beer enough. Like, we've got 14 different beers available at the moment, and maybe 16, maybe even more than that actually, and like, it's hard to keep up with all the old ones, let alone the new ones. So yeah, so that one of the things I really love about those beers is a real rounded bitterness that just carries from the front of the palate straight to the back of the palate. It's just a real solid, balanced bitterness, and it's not too sweet. And there's our glycol fan. All the refrigeration going on. It's not too sweet. It's easy. It's quite enjoyable, and you get a lot of, in addition to the citrus in the flavor, you get the pine from the Columbus hops. And it's just a real crisp, solid IPA. Not sure what else I can say about it, except that a lot of IPAs coming out now are hazy IPAs, and this one is not a hazy IPA. If only we had a hazy IPA we could test today too. Alright, next up we have, what do you know? A hazy IPA. So what the heck is a hazy IPA, right? So a hazy IPA is a close cousin of a New England IPA, sometimes called an East Coast IPA. There's another style that is fighting to be a style called Vermont IPA, and basically it's an IPA that is trying to achieve three things. One, it's hazy. Two, it's trying to emphasize hop flavors and aromas without being too bitter. And three, important characteristic it should have is it needs to really be juicy, like tropical juice like. So Blurve Priorities is actually named after a mix pack we did a year ago during Lockdown 2. We brewed 3 single keg hazies, a hazy shade of winter, hazard perception test, and opacity, I believe were the 3 names. And we called the mix pack Blurve Priorities, and then this recipe is essentially a conglomeration of the things we liked the best out of the 3 beers. So let's have a little taste. Zest bomb. A lot of zest on that nose. Not really sure what kind of zest though. Maybe like grapefruit, maybe orange. Definitely like I'm not going to say nectarine, but maybe like a white peach. Oh, that's good. That first sip, every time, I just think breakfast juice. Really juicy, a little bit of silkiness in the mouthfeel, strong bitter finish at the end there. Talk a bit more about that later probably. Basically, delicious. What else? Tropical fruits. It's a mind trick. I don't taste banana, but that silkiness in the mouthfeel makes me think breakfast juice. So I'm thinking like banana and tropical mix. This is what we want. This is what we want out of a beer. Okay. First of all, let's talk about the hazy. The haziness comes from the yeast. We use a yeast that doesn't like to flocculate or settle out like it does in other IPAs. Nice and clear, nice and hazy. We use wheat and oats in the malt bill. The proteins from those keep the haze up. And we add hops we add the dry hops that we add while it's still fermenting, so that interaction with the yeast causes a lot more turbidity in the final product. To make it juicy, we select hops for their tropical fruit breakfast juice vibes, and we add all the hops right at the any hops that we add we don't really add any hops at all during the boil. We add them right at the end so that we get less bitterness from the hops. And what that means is we can add a lot more hops to get a lot more of that hop flavor and aroma without the beer being overly bitter. That, combined with this fancy term called biotransformation, which is, it sounds really fancy, but it's kind of pseudoscience-y at this stage. It's under research is probably a better way to put it. And it basically is referring to when you add those hops when you add those dry hops during the fermentation, the interaction between the yeast and the hops, the chemical reactions that take place, it's basically been worked out that you get really different flavor compounds resulting from that interaction than you would if you just traditionally dry hop the hops later on after fermentation. So that's one way to get juiciness. So you choose the right types of hops, you add them during fermentation, and then the last thing that sort of, it doesn't really add juiciness, it just adds the perception of juiciness, is the oats that we used. Oats give a little bit of a silky mouthfeel, and that kind of makes you think juice because you get that kind of thickness that you get from like a breakfast juice. Some breweries, and you know, we use it sometimes too, but some breweries will also add lactose to get a similar thing and add a little bit of sweetness. And yeah, that pretty much covers what makes a hazy IPA a hazy IPA. Yeah, enjoy. All right, those were great. I hope you guys enjoy this pack. Let us know what you think. Thanks again for subscribing, and just remember, as subscribers, we're gonna do our best to make sure you get the first taste of beers and get some exclusive beers in the packs. Like the Märzen is getting delivered to you guys, so you have the first chance at it before anyone else. Also, the brewer priorities, we really wanted to make sure it was in this pack, just so it was really fresh. And yeah, congrats to the winner this month of the special monthly subscription prize that we do. And remember, keep subscribing because it could be you next month. And no, we haven't actually drawn the winner yet, so I have no idea who it is. But good luck, everyone, if you're in Melbourne with the next 36 days of perennial lockdown. Take care of each other. Thanks again, and catch you in November.